Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive into the world of futuristic tech and out-of-this-world concepts. Today we're going to explore something truly mind-blowing, creating a fictional UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena, power system. This will be a wild ride through speculative technology, advanced energy sources, and propulsion systems straight out of UFO lore. Buckle up. First up is quantum vacuum energy, also known as zero-point energy. Imagine tapping into the very fabric of space to power your ship. Empty space isn't actually empty. It's teeming with virtual particles popping in and out of existence. The UAP could use a highly advanced quantum field resonance chamber to extract this energy. We're talking about limitless energy, enough to propel the craft at unimaginable speeds. It sounds like science fiction, but the principles are rooted in real science. Exploring these possibilities pushes the boundaries of our imagination. Next up is the antimatter power core. This one is like straight out of sci-fi, but it's theoretically possible. Imagine a tiny speck of antimatter, capable of annihilating an equal amount of matter and releasing an incredible amount of energy. In this concept, the UAP's core would contain antimatter, which as we know is the opposite of regular matter. When they collide, they utterly destroy each other, releasing enormous amounts of energy. We're talking about energy efficiency that dwarfs anything we can achieve with chemical rockets or even nuclear fission. A single gram of antimatter could potentially power a spacecraft for years, if not decades. But of course there's a catch. Antimatter is notoriously difficult to produce and even harder to contain. You can't just store it in a regular container, it would annihilate with the container walls. To make this work, the UAP would need incredibly strong electromagnetic fields to safely store and control the antimatter. This would involve manipulating magnetic fields with incredible precision, something that's still a major challenge for us here on Earth. Then there's the safety issue. Just a tiny containment failure, and boom, you've got a catastrophic explosion. Not exactly ideal, right? Despite these challenges, the allure of antimatter propulsion remains strong. If we could crack the code of antimatter production and containment, we could unlock the potential for interstellar travel. Imagine reaching distant star systems in a fraction of the time it would take with conventional propulsion systems. Now let's get really theoretical with a warp bubble energy drive. Inspired by the Alcubierre drive theory, this concept would allow the UAP to manipulate space-time itself. Imagine a spacecraft that warps the space around it. The UAP creates a bubble, contracting space in front and expanding it behind. This allows faster-than-light travel without breaking the laws of physics. It gets around the limitations imposed by Einstein's theory of relativity. But we'd need exotic matter or negative energy, concepts far beyond our current tech. So, while fascinating, the warp bubble energy drive remains science fiction for now. Chapter 4. Gravitational manipulation, also known as inertial dampening. Ever wonder how UAPs make those insane sudden movements? They might be using gravitational manipulation to bend the rules of gravity and inertia. Imagine a technology that could control gravity itself. This is the idea behind gravitational manipulation, a concept that has captivated science fiction writers and scientists alike. The idea here is that the UAP has gravimetric field generators, creating intense gravitational fields around it. These fields could potentially counteract the effects of inertia, allowing for sudden changes in direction and speed. These fields could cancel out inertia, allowing for those sharp turns and acceleration without crushing everything inside. Think about it. If you could control gravity, you could essentially turn off inertia. It also has been predicted to completely change space travel. Imagine a spacecraft that could make sharp turns, accelerate at incredible rates, and even hover silently in midair, all without the need for clunky control surfaces or massive engines. But as you might expect, manipulating gravity is no easy feat. It's a complex concept and would likely involve technology far more advanced than we currently understand. Some theories suggest that we might be able to manipulate gravity by creating artificial gravity wells, perhaps using micro black holes or even harnessing gravitational waves. These ideas are highly speculative but incredibly intriguing nonetheless. However, the payoff for cracking the code of gravitational manipulation would be immense. It could revolutionize space travel, energy production, and even our understanding of the universe itself. Chapter 5. Plasma Fusion Reactor, Harnessing the Power of the Stars. Now let's talk about something a bit closer to reality. the plasma fusion reactor. This concept draws on nuclear fusion, which involves fusing atomic nuclei to produce energy. Ignition is a mechanism that powers stars, involving our own sun. It involves fusing lighter atomic nuclei, like hydrogen isotopes, to create heavier elements like helium, releasing an immense amount of energy in the process. In this setup, the UAP uses magnetic confinement to control superheated plasma, creating an efficient, clean energy source. This energy could power plasma thrusters for propulsion, while also generating energy for defense systems or even advanced weapons. Imagine a spacecraft powered by a miniaturized sun, capable of generating vast amounts of energy for propulsion, life support, and even advanced weaponry. This is the promise of fusion power. The beauty of fusion is that it's incredibly efficient and produces very little radioactive waste compared to fission, the process used in current nuclear power plants. Though fusion is something we're working on here on Earth, maintaining a stable, energy-positive fusion reaction is still a challenge. Scientists have been working on achieving sustained fusion reactions for decades, and while we've made significant progress, we're still some way off from a commercially viable fusion reactor. However, the potential rewards are so great that research continues around the world. If we can crack the code of fusion power, it could provide a near limitless source of clean energy for humanity. Chapter 6, Element 115. Unlocking the secrets of exotic matter. And here's where we dive into the mysterious Element 115. Some believe this exotic element could be the key to UAP propulsion. Element 115, also known as moscovium, is a super heavy synthetic element that exists for only fractions of a second in laboratories. However, some theories suggest that a stable isotope of element 115 could have remarkable properties. The theory goes that element 115, when bombarded with high-energy particles, creates gravitational waves, allowing the craft to essentially fall through space. This ties in with the idea of manipulating gravity for propulsion, as discussed earlier. Imagine an element so dense and exotic that it could interact with the fabric of space-time itself, creating gravitational waves that could propel a spacecraft. This is the allure of element 115. Though this element exists in labs, a stable form capable of generating energy remains purely speculative. While we've managed to create element 115 in particle accelerators, it decays incredibly quickly. To harness its potential for propulsion, we need to find a stable isotope, and that's a whole other challenge altogether. But who knows? Perhaps we're on the verge of uncovering something spectacular. The discovery of new elements and isotopes has often led to breakthroughs in science and technology. Perhaps element 115, or another yet-to-be-discovered element, holds the key to unlocking new realms of physics and propelling us into a new era of space exploration. Chapter 7. Self-sustaining energy loop, the holy grail of energy production. Finally, we have the self-sustaining energy loop, essentially a perpetual motion machine. Imagine a system that could generate its own energy indefinitely, without any external input. This is the tantalizing idea behind a perpetual motion machine, a concept that has fascinated inventors and scientists for centuries. The UAP could harness energy from the quantum field, constantly replenishing its power in a feedback loop. Think of it like a system that never runs out of fuel, pulling energy from space itself. This method goes along with the already mentioned theory of zero-point energy, which pulls into the quantum vacuum's unlimited power. Imagine a spacecraft that could draw energy from its surroundings, constantly replenishing its power reserves. But as enticing as it sounds, perpetual motion breaks the laws of physics as we know them. According to thermodynamic rules, notably both the initial and second laws, energy may only be transported or transformed, not created or destroyed. These laws are violated by perpetual motion devices, which promise to generate energy using nothing at all. So, while the idea of a self-sustaining energy loop is incredibly appealing, it remains firmly in the realm of science fiction, for now. However, that doesn't mean we should stop exploring these concepts. Sometimes pushing the boundaries of what's considered possible can lead to unexpected discoveries and breakthroughs. Outro UAP propulsion, unveiling the mysteries of the unknown. So what have we learned? The UAP could be powered by quantum vacuum energy, antimatter cores, warp bubbles, or even gravitational manipulation. Each of these concepts pushes the boundaries of science as we know it today, but they're all fun to explore. From plasma fusion to the mysteries of element 115, we've speculated about what could fuel these fascinating crafts. Could it be one of these theories or something we haven't even imagined yet? If you enjoyed this deep dive into speculative UAP technology, be sure to like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments, what do you think powers UAP?